Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Alina binti Abdul Halim. In this video, I will explain about behavioral theory. It promotes the value of leadership style with an emphasis on concern for people and collaboration. So, what are behavior? What is human behavior? And what is actually behavioral theory of leadership? Behavior is the range of action and mannerisms made by organisms, systems, or artificially entities in conjunction with their environment, which includes the other system or organisms around as well as the physical environment. Next, human behavior refers to the range of behaviors exhibited by humans which are influenced by culture, attitudes, emotion, value, ethics, authority, rapport, hypnosis, persuasion, coercion, or genetics. In humans, behavior is believed to be controlled primarily by the endocrine system and the nervous system. Behavior can be either innate or learned. While behavioral theory of leadership is leadership theory that considers the observable action and reaction of leaders and followers in each situation. These theories concentrate on what leaders do rather than on their qualities. Different patterns of behavior are observed and categorized as styles of leadership. So, basic consumption of behavioral theory is focused on how leaders behave and assume that leaders can be made rather than born, and successful leadership is based on definable, learnable behavior. Behavioral theory of leadership are classified as such because they focus on study and specific behavior of a leader. Okay, the Iowa study was carried out in 1939. This study was set up to identify different styles of leadership, which is authoritarian, democratic, and laissez-faire. Okay, first, the authoritarian leader was very directive. He did not allow any participation. He was concerned about the task and told the follower what to do and how to do it. He was friendly while praising the performance of the individual member and impersonal while criticizing the individual member. Authoritarian leadership is the best applied to situations where there is little time for make a group decision, or where the leader is the most knowledgeable member of the group. For example, Bill Gates. His leadership style can be considered as authoritarian, but in a positive way. Okay, second is the laissez-faire leadership. This leader did not establish any policies or procedure to do the task. Each member was let alone, no one attempt to influence the others. Laissez-faire leadership was the least effective of three. In addition, the members of their group made more demands on them, showed little cooperation, and group members were unable to work independently. For example, Martin Van Buren, he is not most imposing leader in history. Van Buren has achieved many great things. He was a key organizer of the Democratic Party and the first president who was not of British or Irish descent, but a born of US citizen. In his leadership approach, he allowed his people to use their talents to help build an organizational structure for democracy. Okay, third, democratic leadership. In this group, the democratic leader encouraged discussion with the group and allowed participation in making decisions. He shared his responsibilities with his followers and involved them in making the planning. The result of these studies found under democratic leadership, less work was performed than authoritarian group, but much higher quality was achieved. In addition, decision-making was less creative under authoritarian leadership than under democratic leadership. For example, is Ginni Rometty as a CEO of IBM since 2012. Rometty has approached to managing a democratic leadership style. She made the tough decision expected of IBM CEOs, such as selling its profitable but slowing server business and reducing staff. She has also committed resources to IBM Big Data efforts.